Sea cucumber has a very distinct, chewy texture and flavor, and thought to be full of healthy substances. Today's recipe, Honghaesam, or stuffed sea cucumber, is a very delicate and sophisticated sea cucumber dish, created by giving a twist on a well-known recipe, mandu, or dumpling. You can enjoy the light and delicate taste resulting from the combination of seafood and beef.
안녕하세요. Hi everyone, I'm Young. It's time again for more than kimchi, where you can discover some of the exciting recipes of Korean cuisine. Today we'll be making Honghaesam, stuffed sea cucumber, a regional specialty from Gyeonggi province. Sea cucumbers are stuffed with beef, mussels, and tofu, creating in unique flavor. Let's now welcome Mrs. Hanbok-sun, our cooking instructor today.
네,
안녕하세요.
안녕하십니까?
잘 부탁드리겠습니다.
네, 고맙습니다.
Also, I'm happy to have Jenny Wallace as our guest today. Hello,
Nice to
Jenny.
see you again.
Thanks for coming.
Thank
so
you.
today we're going to make a stuffed sea cucumber. So let's take a look at the ingredients. Sea cucumber, I'm sure a lot of you are wondering, when you buy sea cucumber, you'll buy a dried forms at the market. So this is a dried sea cucumber. The reason it's sea cucumber, because when you look at the surface, they look like, sea cucumber, kind of spiky, rough skin.
A bit like a stone.
Yes, so you do buy as a dried forms, and if you soak in water overnight, they become about 3 to 5 times big. So these are soaked sea cucumber. Look just like cucumber, except the colors.
It's brown.
Yes. And then we have mussels here, and as a stuffing, we're going to use 3 kinds: tofu, beef, and the mussels. And for seasoning the stuffing, we have here chopped garlic, chopped onions, green onions, sesame seed, sesame oil, sugar, and salt and pepper, and soy sauce, of course. And later, we will use a dipping sauce, which is 초간장. 초간장 means vinegar soy sauce. We'll have soy sauce, and we have vinegar, and then powdered pine nuts. So these are the ingredients we're going to use. And also for this dish, we have 2 procedures of cooking. One is steaming, and then we also going to use pan fry. And before we steam, we'll use flour, and then later egg. So why don't we start cooking now?
네. 그러면은 먼저 요 해삼에다가 이제 여러 가지 소를 넣는 거잖아요.
예.
그러니까 이제 이게 생해삼이면 안 돼요. 반드시
예.
이렇게 불린 거야지 생과하면은
Right.
지지다 보면 이게 다 녹아버려요.
Yeah.
전혀 다른 거죠.
I mentioned to you, you need to buy dried, sea cucumber. The reason is if you cook fresh sea cucumber, they lose their shapes. They become kind of mushy. So
Right.
it's very important for this dish. You buy a dried sea cucumber, and once you soak them for a long time, they become.
And these are readily
kind of thing.
available
Readily
anywhere?
available, yes. You go buy a dried sea cucumber, and if you're in overseas, if you visit the Oriental market, I'm sure they have dried sea
Yeah.
cucumbers. These are very common ingredients for Chinese food and also. And the thing we need to do is we have to make a stuffing. As you can see, we have beef, seafood, which is mussels, and vegetable, which is tofu. Those 3 kinds we're going to use as a stuffing. And think of it as a mandu, dumplings that
Yeah.
you have. Basically, it's the same idea, but the ingredients we got to use honghap, which is mussels. I'll pass this. First, you need to mash the
soya?
tofu.
네.
Tofu, yes,
소요?
tofu.
네, 한번 그냥
It's
으깨봐요.
tubu in Korea.
네,
And
이렇게 누르고서.
when you mash tofu, the easy way is use the back of your knife,
That
and
way?
then you just push it down. Very easy. So you are mashing the tofu. We have a ground beef here, and then
baby food.
mussels. And
한번
after you
여기다가
mash the tofu, we need to get rid of the liquid. The way you do it is you put it in a cloth, and then we squeeze out the extra liquid.
So
this
the
is
harder stuff you would you
yeah,
have to
and
do
this
that?
is what you do always when you use tofu as a stuffing, because you do not want kind of liquid in your stuff.
그다음에
And then we'll have a little bit of ground beef. And then one more kind is mussels.
그다음에 예, 넣어야 되는데 이게 그대로 다져서 넣으면 물기가 너무 많아요. 그래서 한번 물에 삶았어요.
Yeah. And these are fresh mussels that you just get from the market. Since it has too much water, what you do is you just briefly boil it in water.
Boil them,
That way you get rid of some of the moist. And these are already parboiled.
They come out.
Yes.
So you buy them with no shell?
You can buy either way. Either way is okay, but they are readily available in the market. Fresh mussels. And then you will chop them.
네.
And the reason you have to chop is, of course, it's just stuffing. So you need to have a same kind of sort of texture or consistency. So here's mashed tofu, and then you have ground beef. We'll put the chopped mussels in here. So it's quite simple as a stuffing. Just think of it as making, dumplings.
Yeah.
이 안에 내장도
Yeah,
조금
yeah,
들어가도 괜찮겠어요.
So just the whole mussels is fine. Then you chop and put them in. And also you can add, do you know mung bean sprouts?
Yes.
Those might
Yeah.
be a nice addition too. Anything that you would like to use as a vegetable, but make sure you cook first and take out the liquid.
Right.
And then
Yeah.
chop them.
그래서 거기다 이제 양념만 다 하면 되겠죠.
So
여러 가지 넣으세요.
Right. So these are the stuffing. The ingredients for the stuffing is all ready. What we need to do next is put the seasonings here. The one I just introduced before.
소금
If
간하고요.
you're a vegetarian, would you be able to have it without?
Definitely,
yeah.
definitely, yeah. Without the meat, you can use tofu, of course,
Yes.
and then mung bean sprouts. Those are good stuffing you can use. And then you'll put a little bit of
소금,
salt,
그다음에 다진 파.
and then chopped garlic and chopped green onions.
Again, doesn't matter how much, just a bit, whatever
A
you feel
little
like.
bit, yes. But also, it really depends on how you would like. But basically, you will get how much you put it.
Right.
참기름,
Yeah.
깨소금,
Would you like to put a little bit of
Be careful.
the sesame
Strong,
oil, and I'll sprinkle a little bit of sesame seeds,
Be enough?
and then pepper. So,
네.
okay, and then mix it all together. So stuffing is all ready. Yes, sea cucumber has been soaked in water, and then it's been cleaned at the back. I will show you. After you soak it in water, you cut at the center, and you take out intestine inside. So it's a nice, ready to be stuffed here. So this is sea cucumber, and stuffing is already ready. We have a beef, mashed tofu, and then chopped mussels.
그래서 약간 찌다 보면 물이 나오니까 밀가루를 조금만 접착제로 넣겠어요.
Right, and we can add a little bit of flour just to make sure it's not too watery.
Right.
Doesn't have too much water. 그래서 조금만 넣죠. Just a little bit of flour. This will it's like a glue.
It's like binding,
Right,
binding it
right.
together.
So as you steam it, it will make everything stick together.
우리
That's the
한국
purpose.
음식은 주로 이렇게 손으로 하면은 이렇게 깨지고 저렇게
Yeah,
수저로 하면 전혀
That's
다른
right.
모습이 되죠.
This is a very good, example. In Korean food, usually you handle with your hands.
Yeah.
So Mrs. Han did all by her hands. You can see the difference.
hers is much
And this
smoother.
one you did with your spoon. So in Korean cooking, don't be afraid of using your hands because it's very important to use your hands. So you mix it all. So I think the sea cucumber is ready to be stuffed here.
그다음에요. 이제 여기에 아까 설명대로 다 물기 걷었죠. 이걸 채워 넣어야 되니까 여기다 밀가루를 이렇게 돼서 다 묻히겠어요.
So before you stuff the sea cucumber, dress in flour, so that way it will hold the stuffing better.
Dry it out, dry the surface out.
Yeah,
slightly.
you dry the surface out, and then you dress in flour,
그다음에
and then ready to
미소를
stuff,
넉넉히 여기다 넣어줘요.
and then put it in. After you stuff, I told you there's a two procedure for this dish. We will steam first, and later we will do pan fry with the egg. So this is getting ready to be steamed here. So turn your here, and these are ready to be steamed.
넉넉하게 좀 묻히세요. 이거는요.
And make sure you put flour plenty.
All over
So that way, as it's steamed, it will kind of bind
Make it better.
together. Yes.
이거 한번 좀 쪄주시겠어요?
Could you use a bamboo steamer, or would you
Oh,
have to use
definitely. Any kind of
Any
steamer
kind of
is
steamer.
fine. So this is a sea cucumber all stuffed, and you dress in flour, ready to be steamed. I put it in the steamer there.
김이 이제
Yeah.
나오는 이제
Right.
에다가
So this way, we'll steam for about 15 minutes. So while it's steaming, shall we show the ones we already
네.
steamed here?
여기요.
So after you prepare everything, you need to steam for about 15 minutes. This we done in advance. So we'll turn out this way. This has been only half cooked.
Yes.
I mean, the half done. So we need to do the second step, which is pan fry.
네. 그다음에 이제 달걀을
해야겠죠?
지단해야죠.
And when we pan fry this stuffed steamed sea cucumber, we will use the egg. It's like a roll wrapper. We will wrap
Right.
with the with egg. Let's see how Mrs. Han is doing.
네. 이렇게
So
해서
with egg, you will beat the egg. 이 팬에 불 켰습니까,
네.
선생님?
여기에 소금 간 조금만 해서요.
So a little bit of salt. That's all you need with your egg,
Yeah.
and then
wow.
cook it on a pan. Do we have oil over here? We need to put a little bit of oil.
그래서
That's much quicker than using an egg whisk, isn't it?
So as I mentioned, steaming takes about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
That's why we steam this in advance, but basically 15 minutes, not really too long, because these are seafood and then all chopped meat. Doesn't take that long to steam.
이게 뜨거우게 지면은
Once the
여기다가
pan is hot, you put a little bit of oil and make with egg pancake.
그래서 이렇게
And this is a nice square size pan that's specially made for egg pancake, because we use so much with the Korean cooking that way.
It's like an omelette.
Yes, yes. But since we are using it as a wrapper, we prefer making it a square size
Yeah.
instead of a round one.
평소에
네.
우리 지단을 많이 썼을 때는 대단히 얇게
그렇죠.
했었어요.
네.
근데 오늘은 조금 두툼하게 해야겠어요.
You might be familiar by now that we use egg crepes a lot as a garnish.
Yes.
When we use egg crepes as a garnish, we make it very thin. But now we are not using it as a garnish, we are using it as a wrapper. So this pancake, our egg crepe, is slightly thicker than the regular ones.
I suppose so that it won't break.
No, right, that's right. And you don't want to cook the egg all the way. You want to make it slightly wet at the top.
Yes.
That way you'll put this 해삼, 홍해삼, and you will roll it.
And then it'll stick
Yeah.
slightly to the egg.
And I would like to tell you, 홍해삼 means literally sea cucumber and mussels. Mussels in Korean is 홍합, and 해삼 means sea cucumber. That's how we got the name 홍해삼. After
So
you
you-
steamed, you put the flour one more time, and then you have egg that's almost cooked, but the top is still wet. It's important that way it will stick together.
Yes.
So you put the
많이는 하지 말아야죠.
sea
그래서
cucumber inside after you put a little bit of flour, and then we'll roll it. It's kind of fun to do it. Yes, it's difficult. Well, I don't think it's really that difficult. But once you have a right pan,
Yeah,
it's
that's
not
true.
that difficult to make a egg crepe. It's just as you would make a omelet.
Yeah.
The only thing is you are not making the round one. You are making the square size. So it's almost ready. So you need to wait a little bit and make sure you are not using real high flame. That will burn the
Make
the
it brown
egg.
on the outside, so
Right.
it mustn't be brown. It must
It
just be
shouldn't
the
be.
yellow
Because
colour.
hot flame will burn the egg
Yeah.
real quickly. So
그래서
you make it a medium flame, and then you will wrap it with the cloth, and then let it cool down for a while.
예. 그렇죠. 이렇게
그래서,
돼서
예.
조금 덜 익은 것으로 해야
네.
나중에 잘 뜨거워지니까 저절로 익을
right.
거예요.
So as you can
이렇게.
see, the egg is still kind of soft, but
Yes.
because it's very hot, as you roll it, it will just stick together, just like
Right.
glue.
이게
carry on
뜨거우니까
네.
바로 썰면은 또 이게 흩어지죠.
그렇죠. And before we slice, we need to wait a little because if you slice real hot ones, doesn't hold its shape
It'll
nicely.
disintegrate.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So it's important after you prepared everything, like in this stage, keep them just cool down a little bit.
Yeah.
They will help you slice a little easier.
그래요. 지금 이렇게 하다 보면은 여기에 조금 수분이 있는 게 바깥으로 또 나오거든요. 그러다 보면 이게 뜨거워서 이제 굳을
right,
거예요.
Right. So that way you make its shape.
Right.
Just roll it and let it cool down for a while. 그렇죠, 선생님?
네. 그랬더니 여기
네.
조금 미리 좀
Yeah,
해놨어요.
yeah. So this is the one we did in advance. It's all cooled down and ready to be sliced. It's almost like kimbap. You probably
it's like
seen it,
egg
isn't it?
kimbap.
Yeah. It's basically the same idea. You want to roll your ingredients. Instead of kimchi, we just use the egg.
Yeah.
Then we'll slice them. Okay. Oh, how interesting. You can see the shape
beautiful.
of sea cucumber, the stuffing, and then the egg outside.
It does look like kimbap.
Yes.
근데 조금 식은 다음에 하시는 게 좋겠죠?
With this dish, it's important. You have to let it cool down before you slice the roll. Otherwise, they will break easily.
이렇게 돼서
Yeah.
요거는 한 분이 하나 내지 두 피스 정도 드시면 되겠네요.
So per person, you don't have to eat a whole lot. This is kind of a nice appetizer.
Yes.
With the sea cucumber you can see, and then the stuffing inside, and then egg crepes
근데
outside.
이제 그냥 드시게 되면 싱겁고 또 이제
very
조금
decorative.
초간장
Very
맛이
nice.
있어야
Yes,
되겠네요.
yeah. And when you eat this, we also like to enjoy, I mentioned the 초간장 dipping sauce, vinegar soy sauce, which is quite simple. You just need, all you need is 3 ingredients. Soy sauce,
요거 두 개면은
2 tablespoons of soy sauce, and then
식초도 똑같이 2
2
큰술 넣고요.
tablespoons of
그다음에,
vinegar. But of course, vinegar depends on what kind of vinegar you have. So you can just adjust to your taste.
Does it matter what type of vinegar you use?
Well,
Is there a
usually in
better type to
Korea,
use?
the Oriental, vinegar or any of your white vinegar would do it. And
So you could use white wine vinegar.
that would be perfect too. And then, depending on your taste, you can add a little bit of water.
예.
So that really depends on you. And then,
이렇게 해서 이제 여기에
powdered
해서,
pine nuts.
That's as decoration.
Yes, yeah. And also it gives a nice extra flavor of pine nuts. So this is a Honghaesam that we prepared today. It looks kind of complicated, but if you follow the instruction, I don't think it's really that, complicated. And quite an interesting ingredients that we use today.
And as long as you handle it carefully, I would imagine it'd be fine.
Yes. It's kind of unusual dish for Koreans too. So here is Honghaesam with a dipping sauce, 초간장. Let's review the procedure now.
When visiting Korean houses, you can see clusters of pots containing 3 basic sauces, which mark out Korean food from the food of other countries. Doenjang, or bean paste, gochujang, or red pepper paste, and kanjang, or soy sauce. And they are combined imaginatively in a variety of composite sauces. Korean sauces are classified into either marinade or dipping sauces. First, let us show you how to make bulgogi sauce, a typical Korean marinade, to give you a tangible understanding of general Korean marinades. To make bulgogi sauce, you need a mixture of soy sauce, sugar, sesame oil, chopped garlic, green onion slices, and sesame seeds. Grated pear or apple is a good addition. It gives a natural sweetness and flavor. When making bulgogi sauce, put 1 tablespoon soy sauce for every 100 grams of meat. Similar recipes to bulgogi sauce are applied to other marinades. Sometimes red pepper paste or red pepper is added for a spicy variation or to eliminate the fishy smell. Grilled pork and braised mackerel are a good example. As other kinds of sauces, dipping sauces include 초간장, 쌈장, and 초고추장. Vinegar soy sauce is usually served with lightly seasoned dishes such as mandu and Honghaesam. Chogochujang, or vinegar red pepper sauce, goes well with raw and parboiled dishes such as sangsanhue and oche. To make authentic samjang, you need to press bean paste through a sieve. Pour sesame oil in a pan and stir-fry ground anchovy and chopped garlic. Add sieved bean paste red pepper paste, and a mixture of flour and water, and bring to a boil. In another pan, stir-fry ground beef, garlic, sugar, and sesame oil, and add the bean paste mixture. Koreans love to wrap their food up, and there are a variety of different leaves they use. And samjang, or flavored bean paste, is a must on various sam, or stuffed leaves. There are a variety of sauces used to give a tasty twist to food in Korea, and they are always at the center of the Korean cook's meal preparation.
I hope you enjoyed today's Korean food story. Now it's time to taste today's dish, 홍해삼. They are very pretty, aren't they? The contrast of brownish and then yellow look very nice, 그죠? 선생님이 하시겠어요?
네. 먼저 하나씩 덜어서 초간장에 찍어 드셔야죠.
So we enjoy this dish with the vinegar soy sauce, 초간장. 감사합니다.
네.
Too pretty to eat. This can be an excellent appetizer, although we also like to use this as accompaniment to alcoholic beverage. It's very nice. Of course, you can use it as a main dish, but go ahead. You can use a little bit of sauce, yes, or you can use it as a dipping sauce. Either way is okay.
한국 음식에 여러 가지 특징적인 거를 가지고 있는데 첫째는 해물하고 고기하고 달걀까지 다 합쳐져서
그렇죠?
하나가 됐다는 거가
그죠?
특징적인 거죠. 우선은.
Try it. You know, the interesting thing about this dish is it has seafood, beef, and egg all combined together. Quite interesting.
Total protein.
Yes, yes, definitely.
I especially like the mussels.
Oh, great.
It makes it different.
Yeah, it's sort of an unusual stuffing. You know, when you make mandu, this is sort of like a mandu dish. That adding mussel is quite unusual.
Yes, it gives it a totally different flavour than a normal meat stuffing.
Also, you might have already noticed in Korea, Koreans really like to wrap things around. And this is a very good example, you know, good variation of wrapping something with egg.
그냥 흰살 생선으로 하셔도 돼요.
Another variation, if you're not sure about sea cucumber yet, you may also use, of course, fish. Fish, you know, white meat fish.
Flat fish.
That would be nice too, right?
That'd be interesting.
Anything that you can wrap it, I'm sure would be fine.
해삼 불리는 일은 그리 쉬운 일은 아니에요.
그렇죠, 선생님.
그러니까 냄비에다 삶을 때 또는 불릴 때도요. 기름기가 있어서는 절대로 안 돼요. 다 녹아버려요.
그렇죠. You know, we explained to you that you need to soak the sea cucumber overnight. It's not really that simple because when you soak the sea cucumbers in water, if there's any trace of oil with the pot, then the sea cucumber loses its shape. That's the nature of sea cucumber. So if you ever buy dried sea cucumbers and you're going to soak them, you know, in water by yourself, make sure your pot is free of oil. That's very important. But you know, luckily these days, this is just kind of time consuming. You can buy from the market that's readily soaked already, the soft dried, but they are not fresh sea cucumbers. They are the dried ones that's been soaked in water, and you can buy, you know, the soft ones already soaked. Yes.
해삼이라고 이렇게 하잖아요. 바다 해자에다가 인삼할 때 그 삼 쓰거든요. 그 이유가 뭔가 하면은 대단히 건강식품이다. 그리고 희소 적지요.
And also, you know, sea cucumber in Korean is haesam, which literally means hae as an ocean. So it's a sea cucumber, but we say sea ginseng. The reason is, you know, ginseng is supposed to be really good for your body, and you don't even get old if you take a lot of ginseng. Same idea. If you take sea cucumber, it's good for you, and you can live forever. So if any of you who are interested in living for a long time, remember sea cucumber, haesam, and ginseng. So today's dish is 홍해삼, stuffed sea cucumber, has a unique flavor resulting from the combination of beef and the seafood. It's a good example of Korean cuisine, which creates a new taste by giving a new twist on well-known ingredients. Thank you for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. 안녕히 계세요.